The Niners' biggest addition this offseason had to be Javon Hargrave, who they acquired from the Eagles to look to solidify the interior of their defensive line. But a player that I think is going to come on and who really showed out today at the first day of the Niners training camp is Kalia Davis. This is the Niners' last year 5th round pick. And in this video, I want to briefly go over what really impressed me today and what impresses me of Kalia Davis as a player. Kalia Davis tore his ACL during the later half of his senior year in college, meaning last year he didn't really play at all for the Niners. He got in a few practices, but nothing too notable. This year, however, Kalia Davis is moving much better. And during today's practice against Trey Lance, he was able to pressure Lance up the middle, which resulted in Lance having to scramble. And when you watch Kalia Davis, what becomes obvious on his film is how athletic he is as a defensive tackle. He reminds me so much of DJ Jones, and even the Niners compared him to Jones. To go over Kalia Davis measurables, he's 6'1" and 309 pounds. But he's crazy quick off the line of scrimmage and has that quick burst the Niners love. This has to do because back in his high school days where he played at West Florida Tech, he was an inside linebacker and a pretty good one. According to 24/7 Sports, he was a 3-star recruit at inside middle linebacker. So he had offers from UCF, East Carolina, Tulane, Alabama, A&M, and he ultimately decided to go to UCF. During his time at UCF, Kalia Davis moved to the defensive tackle spot where he was productive. In 2019, he had 27 tackles, 8 for loss, and 3 sacks. In 2021, he had 17 tackles, 4.5 for loss, and 1 sack, but missed the second half of that year with the torn ACL I previously mentioned. So with Kalia Davis's UCF career wrapped up, scouts had the opportunity to go ahead and look at his game. And he had some strengths as well as weaknesses. His strengths was really how explosive, athletic, and rangy he was for a defensive tackle. And as I mentioned, this has to do with his previous linebacking core that he built upon and then moved interior to the defensive tackle spot. But he did have weaknesses, such as he didn't play a whole lot of football in the last 2 seasons when the Niners drafted him, so that really makes 3 seasons right now. Furthermore, he was inconsistent at times and needed to work on his NFL conditioning, which brings us to the NFL coach that he's been working with, Chris Kaserik. And Chris Kaserik is one of my favorite coaches the Niners have. Seemingly, he's able to work magic with whoever the Niners give him, whether it be Kerry Hyder, Charles Omenihu, or Samson Ebukam. He gets the absolute most out of these guys. And today, Kalia Davis is looking pretty good considering he tore his ACL a couple years ago and he's coming back and looking stronger than ever maybe. So with all that being said, I think that Kalia Davis is a nice rotational piece that can take off some of the workload from a guy like Javon Hargrave, who looks to make a huge impact this year. So with all of this being said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think that Kalia Davis can be a player like DJ Jones, or maybe even better? I see him personally as a guy who's going to be able to get after the quarterback effectively and maybe even stuff the run. So with all this being said, I am excited to see what Kalia Davis can do in the Niners uniform and wondering if maybe the Niners got another steal in the 5th round. They seem to be pretty great at that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and it would mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed.